Video games have this amazing ability to drive us through a whole range of emotions, and oftentimes that can be done through the power of one fantastically written and delivered line. That is why nowadays we have so many memorable quotes out there, the sort that elicit joy and excitement as quickly as they can make us laugh or cry. And of course, we also have some quotes that are just a little bit silly and got themselves turned into memes, because that's just how the internet works. Either way, ranking some of the most iconic video game quotes has been quite a tough job, but we've done our best to bring you the most well-known ones in this video today. I'm Josh, welcome to HotFix Gaming. Today, we're talking about 10 iconic video game quotes. So, let's get started. 10. It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum. Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem is the crazy, macho protagonist of the titular game series of FPS games involving crazy aliens, explosions, and more. He usually utters this while blowing aliens away, and it just adds to the action, humor, and fast-paced gaming. But a lot of things about the Duke Nukem games haven't aged well, and that is not solely down to the technical limitations at the time. The whole personality of the main character is questionable when viewed with a contemporary moral code. That being said, Duke Nukem still serves as a memorable video game character, so much so that his most used catchphrases always live long in the memory. For example, nobody could forget this classic bubblegum chewing line. The phrase originally comes from the 1988 movie They Live, starring famous wrestler Roddy Piper. Yet, a lot of people remember those words because of Duke.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
9. You were almost a Jill sandwich. Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil game is memorable for many reasons, as it was a landmark game in the survival horror genre. Yet, as much as people praise its atmosphere and puzzles, the title is perhaps best remembered for its infamous dialogue. The game has some of the worst writing and voice acting in video game history. Several of the title's lines have become iconic, including the classic Jill sandwich remark. This infamous quote was said by fellow STARS member Barry to Jill right after saving her from being crushed to death in a trap within the mansion. It's safe to say that it broke a lot of tension from the terrifying presence of the mansion.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
8. Finish him. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has been around for ages, and the rumbling voice of the announcer is something players will always remember. You might even hear someone say this during an argument or at the end of a fight. The fact that it's still being uttered to this day shows the impact that it had on players, as they will always reminisce about the command that this announcer gave to them. Hearing the announcer bellow this phrase is typically met with relief for finally defeating your opponent, but sometimes also anxiety to perform a devastating finishing fatality.
Finish him!
7. Would you kindly? Bioshock. The original Bioshock is a beloved FPS game for several reasons. For instance, fans love the atmosphere, visuals, and main story. Part of the story is so great because of the late twist where you find out your guide is actually the villain Frank Fontaine. Not only does he lie throughout the game, but he also subtly controls the protagonist with the phrase, "Would you kindly?" He does this by continually saying the line and turning it into a hypnotic trigger. It's so important to the story and said so often that it's impossible to forget.
Would you kindly?
Number 6. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Farcry 3. The Far Cry games tend to provide colourful and charismatic antagonists. This all began in the third game with Vass. Every scene with the unhinged villain is compelling, and he is the most memorable part of the game. Throughout the story, he delivers several captivating monologues. While they all include some great lines, his question about whether he's told you the definition of insanity is one that people usually remember. He says the line a few times, and it's always chilling.
What the definition of insanity is.
Number 5. A hero need not speak. When he's gone, the world will speak for him. Halo. When you think of Xbox, you think of Halo. The two go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. But when Bungie initially designed Master Chief, he was a man of few words, similar to Clint Eastwood. And in the first game of the series, he's quite lonely and quiet, a decision made by the designers to further reinforce the backstory that Chief's friends had been largely killed. In the early games, Master Chief rarely speaks, making him an almost silent protagonist. But this quote just further bolsters the point that a character does not always have to speak to be memorable, and Master Chief is a character that many people know, even without playing the games. Number 4. Endure and survive. The Last of Us. The Last of Us has a short, sweet and simple catchphrase spoken by Ellie herself. The critically acclaimed action-adventure comes from Naughty Dog, developers of the Uncharted series, and takes on quite an unconventional approach in allowing players to control 14-year-old Ellie in the fight against the infected. In one particular scene, after Joel kills the hunters in the bookstore, Ellie says, "To the edge of the universe and back, endure and survive." Then elaborates in saying that the quote originated from a comic book she's reading called Savage Starlight. During that tender moment in The Last of Us, Ellie claims it's what the hero says after a big battle, but it also acts as a mantra of hers throughout the game.
To the edge of the universe and back. Endure and survive.
3. Do a barrel roll. Star Fox 64. While Star Fox hasn't maintained relevance as well as some other long-running gaming series, the early titles are remembered fondly. Yet, you could argue that one single line from the series is more famous than the games themselves. This line is, of course, "Do a barrel roll." It isn't a particularly remarkable piece of video game dialogue, but there is something about Peppy Hare's delivery of the line that makes it stand out. And these days, it's incredibly famous due to its becoming a popular and heavily used meme.
Do a barrel roll!
2. I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. To make an open-world game feel more alive, developers give dialogue to unimportant NPCs. However, in large games, it's hard to provide every one of them with unique lines. As such, some quotes are often repeated on many occasions by different people. This is the case for the iconic "I used to be an adventurer like you" line from Skyrim. Many guards in the game deliver this bit of dialogue. It has since become a meme in the gaming world, which has helped it become one of the most famous quotes ever.
You look a little sickly.
They say, Helge, I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
1. All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. GTA San Andreas.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ!
GTA San Andreas provides many memorable missions, yet the one named Wrong Side of the Tracks is remembered for the wrong reasons. Partway through the mission, you and Big Smoke attempt to chase down a train with several Vargo's men on top of it. It can be a bit tricky as it's easy for you to fall behind the locomotive. If you do just that, Big Smoke verbally laments the failure. He says the exact same line every time you mess up. As a result, the piece of dialogue has become infamous, and a bit annoying too, if you fail too many times. What video quotes have stuck with you? Which ones do you remember the most vividly? Let us know your favourite catchphrase in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed gaming content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in our next video.